this is like a 10-episode season, right?
Yes, yeah, it's short. And 7 of them are already out.
That was the issue with OG PLL.
Yeah.
There was too many episodes.
Was it 22?
Yeah.
Was it?
And it went too many seasons. Because I watched 3.
I think
I got into 4.
Yeah.
And it was when they announced it was going like 3 more years. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, I will not. I won't do it.
I remember going back and forth with our friend Katie and being like, I don't want to be in my 30s and still watching Pretty Little Liars.
Well, she felt
to me.
She felt so betrayed that we were abandoning her. She was like, you cannot leave me. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
So I kept watching it for at least 1 season after you.
Yeah.
1 or 2. I got to the time jump and when Allison was pregnant. And then I think I dropped off in that season.
I remember the picture of Lucy Hale from the ski lift where she was stuck on it with Ezra. And she was like, That was my like profile picture on Facebook for a hot second.
And then it's just not Ezra. And you're like,
but he like leaned into it.
He did. He was very menacing in that episode. Whatever, regardless.
Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is, so you bullied us into it.
You did.
You did it. You got it. You got what you wanted.
We got like 4 requests today about this show.
So I'm watching Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin.
Chapter 1, Spirit Week.
If you're new, or even if you're returning, I just want to preface that some days that I am smart and some days I'm stupid, and today is a stupid day.
But everywhere again.
Very, very, very stupid. There's a lot happening, and we have to sort of cram it in when we can. And so I was looking at the screen while this was
happened,
on. Yeah. I was absorbing elements of it, but I have no idea. It was
a lot.
Well, so because we got 2 time periods, we got a TVMA rating. We have a group of girls in 1999. We have that same group of girls, some of which are twins that may or may not be played by the same actress. I don't know.
It is one actress.
So one of them's dying by episode 5.
Well, Kelly probably.
That's just my guess.
Yeah.
If one actress is playing twins, that's my guess. It takes place. There were so many names and words. Mm-hmm. And we got a couple of blondes, but everyone has brown hair. Mm-hmm. I was like, couldn't get a redhead in here or something.
Yeah, like one redhead would be tight.
I was really having a hard time keeping them all straight. It's a town called Millwood.
Yeah.
Which is in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, the OG was in Pennsylvania as well.
And I guess
but it was called Rosewood.
Millwood's main export was steel, and now it's ominous fog.
Sure.
This was the scariest high school I have ever. And we watched gloomy. 4 seasons of Sabrina.
We did.
And this thing was like
way gloomier than Greendale.
And claustrophobic.
Yeah. The
hallway.
Especially after going to the newly opened grocery store today where the fucking lanes in the parking lot are like the size of 4 SUVs.
I'm into this. It feels like I'm very excited about the TVMA rating. We officially got peeps.
There was a whole
best.
Peep.
That is the best news possible. Plus, Greg is Elias Henrik.
No, Casavas.
No. Okay, Henrik is the other one.
Okay.
The two just 2 absolute baby dream boats that were in
From
Euphoria. They played young Cal and young. What was his?
I don't remember the boyfriend's name.
Jared or
something like that.
Something like that. And they were so dreamy. But he's in this.
He also threw a dirty wad of money at Karen, which was amazing.
So good.
At the pizza place in front of all their peers.
But I was gonna say at Dr. Cerberus's. It's like
it really is. It really.
There's a lot of Sabrina vibes. I am loving the TVMA.
Mm-hmm.
I am loving the horror bent.
Yeah.
Because OG PLL had like a spooky, like a mysterious.
Yeah, it was like a long time before anybody's life was in actual danger.
OG PLL was like a porcelain doll with a cracked face.
Yeah.
And this is like a hockey mask in a swamp.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
And I'm into it. I kind of. It is Roberto.
Yeah, it's Roberto who does Riverdale and Sabrina. I was gonna say it's giving me. There's this episode of Bob's Burgers where they're trying to scare Louise, and they're in a house that Bob and Linda have like set up as a haunted house, and all of it is basically just to get Louise to be scared. And so they're walking around like looking for ways out, and they look into a room, and it's just a little doll on the only things in the room, a little doll in a little rocking chair, and Jean just whispers,
use of that room.
And that's really the vibe I'm getting from this show.
Yeah, it's Roberto Aguirre Sacasa coming in hot in the first episode.
Hot!
with the tropes and the references and stuff.
Okay, all right. Okay.
My favorite was Strode.
Yeah, Strode, Prescott,
and Ripley.
Ripley and Associates is where one of their mothers works. It's like a law firm where one of their mothers works.
So that was the one who was the Black Swan.
Farron.
Okay.
Yeah. I've already got kind of because they are all very pretty brown-haired girls, except for Bailey Madison, who has gone blonde for this role, which is great.
I'm gonna be honest. She was sort of the deciding. Well, it also has like a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Does it?
And furthermore, the 10 episode.
That helps.
I will, because I was like, I can't do 100 episodes of this because it just gets unsustainable. Yeah. Like,
I was also a little wary because HBO Max is going through something right now. They're in their feelings. I don't know what's happening, but they
cut all their hair off.
They really did it straight down to the scalp. And so I was very wary of starting something new that is potentially going to be immediately canceled.
But it's apparently popular?
I have no idea.
I thought the flight attendant was too, and I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
But no, Bailey Madison was a big draw for me because I found her to be a very gifted child actor.
Especially on Once Upon a Time.
And
which was a struggle.
That dumb Adam Sandler movie with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Doesn't she try to do like an accent a bunch of
so I was curious to see her. She is still very good.
Yeah.
She needs to tone it down just a smidge.
She's doing Theater Kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount. The rest of my attention is back at the offices of Facebook, where my colleagues and I are doing things that no one in this room is capable of doing.
She needs, there's just a hair more naturalistic that she needs, and I believe she can get it.
Oh, she can absolutely get there. It's just just a scotch too earnest. We're nowhere near like Dawson territory.
No,
it's not that earnest, but it's a scotch too earnest.
So we open up in 1999 with Orgy's Blue Monday. It was amazing.
It was really good.
There was like a rave that we couldn't decide if it was school sanctioned or not. And there were 5 friends and then
a sixth
girl who was maybe in need of help, or maybe they were just like icing her out.
I think she was assaulted. She had blood all over her.
But it was it was like a Halloween rave, so I couldn't tell if it was a costume.
Was anybody else wearing a costume?
They were wearing not normal clothes. So it might have just been rave clothes that I conflated with. I think it was Halloween. I think there were I think someone had a mask.
Maybe.
We just watched it.
Yeah.
And one of them, I have no idea who they are because they're all the mothers of
moms.
The kids. But one of them broke and started to talk to her. And then another one was like, we've talked about this.
That's Imogen's mom.
Okay.
Her name's Davy. And she's played by Carly Pope from Popular. She was, yeah.
And so then the 6th girl climbed up into the rafters and was like,
do you see me now?
Yeah, and she like jumped off with a thud and a
splatter.
A splatter. Yeah. Oh, and her like,
yeah,
Rachel. That girl in the beginning was fucked up, but like,
it was
there's the picture for the. Deep cut, inside jokes. Those are really good for building your audience.
For sure.
And so we went 22 years into the present.
Yeah.
And Imogen is 5 months pregnant, but she's got a scrappy Gilmore Girls mother-daughter relationship thing going on.
Well, they all had their daughters super young because all these girls are 16 and it's been only 22 years. So,
well, that's what I said. I was like, this is a bumblefuck town. What was the motto?
Oh, we'll steal your hearts. Steal. Get it?
So Imogen and Karen were fighting because Imogen maybe kissed her boyfriend,
but Imogen maintains that Greg kissed her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which you think he's automatically the father of the baby, which that's a fine.
I'm not 100% about
it. Feels
that.
A little that's the point I'm at where I'm like, and this is the fun of being in your 30s, well into your 30s, watching these shows. Yeah. Although it is TVMA, but it's like, what part of the trope's life cycle are we in?
Right.
Are we doing like cliche?
That? Yeah. Like, what are we?
So that's like the obvious thing. Because also, I mean, especially after episode 1, I'm not convinced her mother killed herself.
Not 100%. Yeah.
Because it felt out of character even for what little.
No, I mean, so I think she's dead, but I think she might have been murdered. Yeah.
So, and Karen was there and she's being terrible.
But she's like, she still hasn't forgiven her. Okay, here is my other off the bonkers wall theory, is that Karen is actually the nice one and Kelly is doing all the bullshit. Like they somehow swapped.
Like
not like a body swap.
but I was like at what point? Like
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, like in the womb.
One
of them's the evil twin.
Yeah.
We need to I'm telling you, one of them's gonna have a weird scar.
Sure.
And it's not gonna match the other one's scar. And we're gonna find out that there was a triplet.
Sure.
Who lives in the attic. It's that episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so there was Karen and Kelly, and they both do ballet, and that was with Farron.
Yeah.
They're doing Swan Lake, and
it's high school.
Karen was racist.
Karen was super racist.
As want to be. But she was the savvy Karen, white lady racist, where it was all implied, so she couldn't actually.
It was like really implied.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so she actually could, like.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say anything.
Also, Madame Geary, their ballet instructor. It needs to be Miranda Richardson.
Well, yes. Also, that's not even a horror movie.
Phantom of the Opera is well within
okay.
Pretty Little Liars territory.
Okay, yes, that. Well, okay, but with the amount of actual horror homage, I'm gonna be generous. I feel like I wish it was like like one of the dances. I wish her name was like from Suspiria instead. Of Phantom of the Opera.
That's so much better. I mean, I like the Madame Geary shout out, but yeah.
She doesn't get enough play for sure, but like
what are their names? Will knows it.
I don't remember.
Suspiria, Madame DiGiorno.
Well, I think even before you get to the like Queens part of it, they have actual names. The ballerinas have actual names.
Who was the one that Imogen is living with?
Imogen is living with Tabby, who is the worst TM film student dumbass. And her adult boyfriend,
36 years old,
who's named Wes. He said 30. Oh, he said he's the same age as Ari Aster.
When so the second they showed him, you went, ew. And I was like, he hadn't even spoken. And I was like, what?
It was only because his name is Wes.
No, I'm giving you even more than that. Like, you were like, nope, he's a predator. And I was like, I was like, what is this judgment? And then he was like, you remind me of the girls I used to hook up with in college. And I was like, you just put so much distance between you and her with that phrase.
Yeah.
You remind me, time.
Of a time in the past.
Of the girls I used to.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Date in college.
Yeah.
Time.
We're really dating
ourselves. Even the word college is adding time between the two of them.
So the thing that actually, the first.
It's not even high school. Not even, you remind me of the girls from high school.
Yeah.
Like.
The thing that
could
actually
be 22 if that was
100%. The thing that actually made me say ew is that he made her friend, who I did not clock his name. She has a friend who's a boy. I don't think they're dating, but she is a friend. Tabby does, and he made the friend leave him alone with her and go up to the projection booth. And I was like, no. because the friend was trying to be cutesy and he was like, well, actually, it's Tabby's turn, like blah blah blah, and he was like, get your fucking ass out of here. And I was like,
she came on so strong.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this. I really shouldn't, because she is right that there
absolutely correct.
Needs to be more diversity. There needs to be more gender and all of those words. But it's the sort of we're in that place where it's like we're working on that now.
Well, I also not even leaving all of that aside, you're not gonna get your 50-year-old white
public high
school in like semi-rural.
You're gonna be watching Steven Spielberg and you're going to enjoy it. Like,
yeah, like I agree. You should watch some Akira Kurosawa and some Jordan Peele and all of that stuff. Ava DuVernay.
We've got room for Judy Taymor. Like,
yeah, but it's just like you're in high school.
Julie,
yeah.
I was like, as I said that, I was like, that was wrong.
I was gonna let you have it.
It was a very strong flavor.
And then she just kept going, which this did get to a Dawson place for me with this fucking super hard on for Steven Spielberg, where she just kept on being like, oh, like, let's have a horror thing. No one knows about Brian De Palma.
Cronenberg.
And like, fuck you.
I like her because I like her rapport with Imogen.
Yes, yeah.
And also her mother is Sharon Leal. I love Sharon Leal. Yeah. She has not aged a day in 20 years. Yeah. She was Miss Suitor in Boston Public. The theater.
Sure.
I think she was the theater teacher.
Yeah.
Because Rashida Jones was the secretary.
Oh.
I loved that show.
You did. You really did.
Which is different from Boston Legal, which I also loved. I'm really invested in Boston-based 2000.
Yeah. I will say, it was just those like first two scenes with Tabby that I was like, shut up about the movies. After those first two scenes, I was 100% there.
Well, because the other thing is, it's like, I was a teenage film buff person.
Yeah.
And it's like, I liked teenage stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I still don't like Brian De Palma.
Yeah, movies. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was we were talking about like Bring It On and The Emperor's New Groove and like,
and the very intricate nuance of which Mandy Moore songs were used in center stage.
And I mean, there was some of the 80s stuff in there, but too, I don't know.
How breathy can we get? Wanna be with you.
It was very pretentious in a way that I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's again very Dawson. I get it. I get the vibe. It's fine. At least she's got better taste than that. Also, but then she was totally wrong. Midsommar is flawed, but Hereditary is a masterpiece.
Your head snapped back.
No.
Like,
scratch that. Reverse it.
We like no. I think they're both great, but I think because we saw Midsommar,
they both look nice.
It's the Village thing. Or like Signs or whatever, where it's like, because most people saw Sixth Sense and then some of the other movies, they were holding them to a standard. Where we saw Midsommar first and then Hereditary, so we weren't like expecting.
Well, sure, but I also, I do think Hereditary is the more flawed of the two movies. It's his first movie. It's just
Hereditary's
not
all
as tight.
over the place.
Yeah, it's
Midsommar,
not as
yeah.
Midsommar's better. Come for me. I don't care.
Do you like how we just chastised this like pretentious teen film student?
I am 36 years old.
You could be dating her.
I could be dating her. He tries to pull a move on her. He's like, are you sure you don't need a ride home later? Like, he's real slimy. His name is Wes, which is also so stupid because it's clearly Wes Craven. I couldn't read what his favorite movie was or her dude friend, but hers was Jurassic Park. And then there also was, what was the other name that I hated? Oh, Mouse has a friend whose name is Ash Romero. Come on, writers.
It's fine. I didn't get much of a sense of Mouse. She's the internet one.
She's gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I didn't pick up on.
She was like looking at a flyer and Karen was at her like Spirit Week table and Karen was like making lesbian jokes at her and she was like, whatever. And then later, the boy that
I thought he was flirting with her. I was not.
No, he was like, you should come to one of our meetings. And he handed her another flyer. He was like, I see you looking at our flyers all the time. And she was like, I'm not really into group stuff. Like after school. Sorry.
I mean, he was gay.
He was gay. Meanwhile, every time we meet one of their mothers, they are having flashbacks to that night where the girl died. So, and then also all of the girls are getting text messages from an unknown number that they don't know.
And there's a presumably male, although not necessarily male figure.
Like bulky, but there's like a mask and like
hair lurking.
It is presenting male, but it could, knowing this show, it could be anything.
Lurking around. Not subtly.
No.
Like
way in the open.
He had just set up camp at the school.
Yeah.
With like props, like pets and everything.
Like that's the thing. I'm interested to see how this goes because in the OG show was always very like I feel like they were being funded by a billionaire. You know? They were always like a cool lair, and always with that red jacket and everything is like very fun. And then I think the only other one we haven't touched on is Noah, who is on probation for doing something. She has to get drug tested every week, and she's doing community service with the sheriff, who is Karen's father. Really suspiciously is like supervising the community service and is like, don't bother me until 6 p.m. But then she sees the like guy who's creeping around after everybody, and she's like, fuck this. And she goes to tell him that there's a creepy dude standing around, and he is getting a blowy from one of the other boys that's doing a young boy that's doing community service. And then he has the nerve. Okay, I loved that dinner scene. Actually, the dinner scene at the Beasley's house. I'm sure just for like visual purposes and because it's one actress, but like why they're sitting on the same side of the table is so weird. But then she gets really mad and she's talking about how Farron got the lead, and he's like, well, is she better than you? Which I loved that. I love that he has no patience for her. That he's just like, be better. Like, if you want to be better. And then he's like, where do you think this house and all of this stuff and your clothes come from? And I was like, I feel like you're just obviously living above your means as a small town sheriff in an old steel town. Like, I don't know. Like, where do you think it's coming from is the important question.
And the real battered woman, their mother.
Oh, yeah. Her name's Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Martha Beasley. And then I guess Imogen really upsettingly asks the school nurse to like try to book her an abortion. She's 6 months pregnant at that point, and we
were like, oh honey.
Yeah, and the nurse even was like, you know that it's too late. We can't do that. She like even explains it later to Tabitha. She's like, I mean, I'm obviously having a bad day, but like, you know, it's just something that came through my mind. And so then the principal talks to her about it and is like, a lot of people are uncomfortable with your presence here. And I'm like, there's literally no way she's the first pregnant student at this, again, small dying steel mill town. There's no way. She goes and confronts Karen in the cafeteria and like begs Greg to tell the truth. And he's just like, what? He's so stupid. And so she decides she's going to run for
Spring Queen
or whatever it is. Yeah.
It was
I don't know.
good.
I kind of love it. Yeah.
Then somebody sabotaged all the girls.
Yeah.
Really upsettingly. Really.
It was very upset.
I saw the razors on that table and I was like,
that was
no, ma'am.
That was bad. That razor blades in the
I couldn't look at that one.
Ballet slipper is really bad. That was in Karen's ballet slipper. So Karen's behind this. She really victimized herself a lot because she put if it's her, there was razor blades in her own slipper. There's a dead rat in her book bag. And then, the poster. Imogen and Tabby are there because
her posters
Karen's posters got sabotaged. And then all of Imogen's posters that they didn't make were like up right next to it.
And then
Noah failed her drug test. Yeah. And she's so they're all in detention. So, I mean, I don't believe it can actually be Karen who like set all that up, because why on earth would she?
She's come on so strong. I was like, this is Mona all over again. She's going to be amazing by like the midway point.
Yeah. God, I miss Mona. She was I fucking loved Mona. Oh, and Farron got kicked out of Black Swan. So she's because they think she has no motive to put razor blades in Karen's shoes, but they basically just assumed it was her, and so she got kicked out of the show. And so they all get to talking about how it's Karen's fault that they're all in detention, and Imogen goes full dark side immediately.
Full dark, no stars.
Let's kill her. Like, first
stares directly into the camera.
First option. That's like the first option put forward.
I kind of wanted it to like pull back or whatever, and for her to just be staring into space. And the girls are kind of like,
no, they literally all are like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
John Tucker must die.
Love it. Love to see it.
So, okay, I think we're gonna watch the next episode.
Yeah.
And come back and talk about.
It's delicious already.
We need a peep count.
One peep. One peep so far. Maybe two. There was a lot of like, but I clocked the one that was right in frame.
Oh yeah, because she had footage of the boys' locker room.
Tabby did. Yeah, that was.
Was it like her? Did she acquire it?
I don't know.
Or did she procure it? It was.
Yeah. It's sketchy. It's not amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke on that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right.